What's up, guys? Today we will be comparing the LG V60 to the iPhone 14 Pro here. So LG V60, one of my favorite older flagships to recommend people as an alternative to buying a more expensive flagship. So let's go ahead and get started here. We'll go ahead and kick it off with a quick little speed test here. So the LG V60 does have the Snapdragon 865 chipset on here. We're running Android 12, and we also have micro SD card support, 128 gigs of internal storage, and 8 gigs of RAM. The iPhone is running iOS 16, Apple A16 chip, 128 gigs of internal storage, and 6 gigs of RAM. And what I always tell people, what you will find with these older flagships is that they can still be pretty much on par with the newer phones. So we'll go ahead and launch the phone real quick. We'll launch Subway Surf, and you can just see how the V60 is able to keep up with the iPhone. It's not going to be like super far behind. You can see it actually beats the iPhone there in Subway Surf. Both these phones extremely fast, extremely smooth phones here, as you guys can see here. Let's try YouTube. V60 again. Now the iPhone, it does have that, we got a little hiccup here on YouTube. The iPhone does have that 120 hertz display, so it is going to be, or at least feel a little bit smoother than the V60 60 hertz panel for sure here. Try Instagram. iPhone got in there really quickly. Again, so you guys can see just how fast both these phones are. Let's go ahead and do a heavier game, PUBG. Now the gaming experience on both of these phones is going to be pretty good, guys. So you will be able to play at high settings on both of these devices. Obviously the iPhone is going to beat the V60 when it comes to benchmarks and stuff like that, but in general, for your average gamer, you probably won't be able to tell too much of a difference if you're just playing PUBG, Call of Duty Mobile, stuff like that. They both play at essentially the same settings, as of right now, HDR Extreme. And if we can get to a game, let's go ahead, boot into. So you guys can see just how well it is actually keeping up here. Boom. Very smooth, 60 frames on the iPhone. Not gonna have any problem gaming, and it's gonna be the same for the V60. Super smooth, 60 frames on here, HDR Extreme on both of these guys. Now let's talk about the build quality on both of these devices. They are both glass and metal phones here, and also the price. V60 coming in at around 250 bucks, which is absolutely crazy for an older flagship phone. iPhone coming in at $1,000. Like I said, they're both glass and metal devices. Both look really great, give you that premium feel. You will notice a difference with hardware is that you will find a headphone jack on the V60 with a quad DAC. So it's not just a regular headphone jack, it does have a quad DAC on it, and you're going to get some very high quality audio on this phone if you want to plug in your wired headphones. So that's always a nice bonus. And obviously the V60 is a little bit bigger. If you do want something on the size of the V60, you would go for the Pro Max version of this phone. Now let's go ahead and talk about these displays here. So the V60 does have a POLED HDR10 Plus display. It is 6.8 inches, 1080p, 395 for the PPI. The iPhone does have the LTPO XDR Retina OLED display. It's 120 Hz HDR10, and then it gets actually up to 2000 nits brightness, which is pretty impressive, especially in direct sunlight as well. It's one of the brightest phones you can get actually on the market right now, and it is a 1179 by 2556 460 for the PPI. One thing I do like is that the V60 does have a smaller water drop notch than the iPhone. The iPhone houses the Face ID, in its pill little cutout. Like I said, I don't mind both of them on here. I think they look great. The iPhone has slimmer bezels than the V60 as well too, which is something that I really like. But displays on here are both really great. But like I said, I really do like having the 120 hertz. That could be something that you also might really like as well. Alright, so for curious minds, if you guys want to see the Geekbench scores, here they are. This was ran on Android 12 as well, so that will give you an idea on where your benchmarks stand. Let's talk about additional features, because this is something that is pretty cool on the V60. So not only do you have SD card support, the headphone jack with the quad DAC, you also have dual screen case capability on this phone as well too, so you can essentially attach another screen to the V60. They roughly go for around $100 on eBay if you want to go ahead and get that accessory, and basically you get a true multitasking experience, which is really nice. So that's always something that I really like. The fingerprint scanner on the V60 is fine. I wish it had the face unlock. Unfortunately, it does not. It just has the fingerprint scanner. The iPhone just has the Face ID as well, which works flawlessly. It's really fast and just really accurate all the time. And you can even use it now with the mask, which is really cool. As far as the speakers, so let's go ahead and check that out. Alright, we're going to start max volume. Wow, these actually sound really close. Yeah, they sound almost identical. They both hit hard with the bass. They're both very loud and high quality speakers. So I would go ahead and say it's about a tie. I really wasn't expecting that. But yeah, they sound almost really identical. Alright guys, let's go ahead and talk about the camera quality. I'll go ahead and show you guys these side-by-side stills. Let's talk about the specs first. 64 megapixel standard on the V60, 13 megapixel ultra wide. You do have a 0.3 depth sensor. You can shoot in 8K 30, and then you also have a 10 megapixel selfie cam that shoots in 4K 30. With the iPhone, you do have a 48 megapixel standard, 12 megapixel telephoto lens with 3x, and then another 12 megapixel ultra wide. You also have macro mode on here, 4K video at 60 frames, and then a 12 megapixel selfie cam that can also shoot in 4K 60 as well. Alright, here is the video on the 14. Sorry, 2x, 3x, 0.5. Alright guys, here's the video on the LG V60. As you can see, 2x. Here's our 0.5. Alright guys, so lastly, the battery life experience is going to be excellent on both of these phones. These are two excellent battery life phones with great standby time as well. So the V60 does have a 5,000 milliamp battery on here, and it is wireless charging on here as well too. Basically, the V60 can easily get you a day and a half battery life very easily. The iPhone is pretty much the same, 3,200 milliamp battery, but with such great optimization from Apple, this phone can get you easy, a day and a half very easy. It also has wireless charging with the MagSafe charging as well. So just two really great options. You guys can see how well the V60 stacked up to the iPhone in terms of image quality, in terms of speed, in terms of overall just the quality experience, and the addition of features with the headphone jack and the speakers and all that stuff. So I was really impressed. I'm always impressed with this phone, comparing it to the newest flagship. So be sure to let me know, what do you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.